Okay. All right. Okay, so let's add this. Let's start with Mr. Shemi here. Uh, so what have you gained so far about this program? What do you like about the program? Your feedback, what you think that could be adjusted for the next set of persons, what you feel was nice about it, and then yeah, your advice, your suggestion, and then in addition, what you will work on after now. Yes. And what is your after my plan? Yeah, after now, what is your plan after now? Yeah. So that's
Good evening, everybody.
good
Uh,
evening.
I think, firstly, I would love to appreciate the fact that such a program is made available for undergraduates, and it's a pointer to the future, really. I mean, it's has equipped us with so much information that certain people were not able to lay hold of even after they've graduated. So I feel this is a lovely initiative. Well done, Mr. Moyinwa Olaseyinde. Thank you so much, sir. And what I would like to, okay, I will still talk about some things I've gained. Okay, let me just start with that. So, I've learned on politics. I've learned more on value too. I loved yesterday's session, even though we didn't get slides, which I would have really loved. I love the fact that we were able to cut deep into networking and value system and all of that. It has inculcated so many morals in us. And I also love to commend the fact that we examined biographies of certain successful individuals. So this way, we're able to understand that it's not as if these people just arrived at this point. They've made a lot of mistakes. In fact, yesterday when I was reading about Richard Branson, I discovered that he had dyslexia. In science, that means the inability to retain information that is read and the inability to write and read effectively. So, and in spite of that, he was able to achieve so much that he even made the legacy of his mother flourish. His mother was also an entrepreneur. So he even built companies that control about 400 companies to date, even though he had dyslexia. So I saw that there is a title, there is a name, there is a label people will give you, but that does not really define who you are. Your actions, the information you allow yourself to get exposed to, the people you move with, and the type of things you involve in. I mean, the type of values you inculcate in yourself, determination, discipline, and all of that go a long way in telling who you will become. And if you go all out for excellence, of course, you are going to definitely achieve it. Also, I love the aspect of self education. I love the aspect of technology too. The world is rapidly changing, and it's best everybody becomes a part of that future that awaits all of us. So I love the aspect of we getting involved in technology, how it can benefit us, how we can use it to make ourselves better and all of that. And I love especially this aspect of vision. Vision, it really explains so many things. I even love the example cited. Actually, it's not the first time I came across the Burj Khalifa. I read the story about the is it president now or the sheikh, I'm not sure, of Dubai, and the visionary leadership he has so much deployed in that place. That place was like an arid land. It was like nothing good could come out from it, but he kept on believing that something good can come out from it. China also had the same history too. The Chinese were poor and all of that, but their leaders kept on believing that they can always achieve it, they can always do more. And now China is number three world power. In fact, even US will not want to mess with them. So I so much loved everything. I can't start mentioning. If I start, I believe our time would just elapse. So let me just probably round it off there about the things I've learned. But there are so many things: mentorship, partnership, the egg hatching process, a lot of things. The biographies too, very beautiful. So, and I love the fact that we had the meeting via Google Meet. I mean, it helped to ensure concentration. I must confess, at some points, maybe coming home very late and we still have to meet up with certain duties. If it were a WhatsApp meeting, probably we just, yes, I'm following, yes, I'm following. Then we just get to doing other things. But it's a Google Meet meeting. So You all have to pay attention. Even if you are doing other things, at least you can keep listening to each word. You can jot down, you can see the slides, you can screenshot, you can take notes and all of that. So that's one thing I would love to appreciate. And what I think we can improve on is I would love it if I don't know how possible it is, and I really don't know the reason why it was only 200 and 300 level, but I feel that probably 100 level or maybe 400 level students too can get exposed to these things, because feel that there are certain people, even in 500 level, people about to graduate that don't even have a track record, they don't have a compass, they don't have something that is directing them. So they are like pointless. They don't know what to do after school. So they're just following the normal routine. Primary school, secondary school, university, get out, get a job, get married, settle down, have children, and the cycle continues. So I believe that it would be best if maybe on maybe it might not be Leven's crisis, it might be maybe and it might have another name, but something about this, something with this motive to equip people with the skills they need to tackle crisis they will encounter in future. So I believe that even final year students should get exposed to this, and 100 level students too. I feel that if some people had this thing in 100 level, probably they would have had even better results, in the sense that they would have made networking very easy. With the fear of not wanting to mingle with people, they don't know who is who, they don't know who would influence them negatively. If some people had been exposed to this in 100 level, they would have made the best use of it. They would have met with friends that will help catapult their futures forward positively, and they would have met with people that would help them to hone their skills, probably public speaking, communication, critical thinking, stuff like that. So if it can be exposed to 100 level students too, I think I will appreciate that. And I must not forget to mention that the data was really so helpful. I thought 5 gig would be too much, but it even appears to be maybe too small. I don't know. I never knew I would use so much data. And it's not as if I went on YouTube or anything, but researching, checking the biographies, checking various links, checking the reports of many people just helped to make the whole experience wonderful and something I would never forget. So thank you so much, sir. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you everyone for making it very interesting too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. Really appreciate that. Yes, so it will be noted, right? There is a reason why we made it 2 and 3, right? So one of the major reasons why we made it 2 and 3 was because 200 level was the first level where I got exposure about some certain things. So and then it helped me. 2 and 3 was the level I got and got some certain things, some clarity, and so it helped me to um, more like continue till I graduated. Though there are some things I learned around 500 level, there are some things I learned even after graduating. You get so, um, and then because of the pressure in part one, why we made it so is because when you are coming into school in 100 level, the focus for many people in 100 level and what we also want them to focus on is the academics actually. Focus on your academics, do well your academics in part one, just to be cool. So by the time you transit to part two, then you can start talking about some other thing to you, right? So not every 100 level we have that capacity to be able to calm down, to listen to all these things, right? So very few of them. So and then for us to be able to get that few might be a little bit difficult. So but maybe along the way we still consider other levels, right? So and then for part five, you see, one thing I've learned about 500 level is that they have too much, they have pressures, right? They have pressure. They have so many things eating them so much that for them to be able to get information at that level is very difficult. You have to be very sensitive, very conscious before you can get information to be with you because a whole lot of things is coming to their head, is eating them. They are thinking about what to do after school, what to this. So they are not being. It's very difficult for them to come together as one to put themselves together, right? Because a lot of things is eating their head. They are thinking about a lot of things. They are looking at how they will do this, how they will do that, and then they are saying the lapses of what they should have done that they did not do. And you know, sometimes guilty begin to build in someone's mind that they will not be able to free themselves. And if you don't free yourself, there's no way you will learn. Right? So that's what happened for And then there's this way they feel maturity in code, right? They feel just, who is this person? What do they want to say to me? What and all those kind of things. So it happens to all those level. Only few of them, though we had like two or three that messaged me. They are in part five. They messaged me and be like, please, I want to join this program, blah 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 blah. And say, oh, it's for this, but no problem. We send you the audio. We send you whatever thing that we get extras we get out of this. We send it to your mail so that you can go on and listen to it. So we plan for that. So some just look at it and poof. And then I want people that will be committed, right? That's one thing. We want people that will be committed. We don't want excuse. That's one thing that in my mind, there is no excuse. If you know you will not be committed, if you know you will not be committed, just you can do any other thing. See, the truth is you will get this kind of information. You can get it several places. It doesn't mean that this is the only place you will get it. You can get it several places, even better way, better presentation and the like. So if you feel that you will not be consistent in this one, no problem. Just look for another one that you'll be consistent in and join and be good. Right. So we really wanted that consistency. We really want someone that will be really consistent about what they want to do. You get. So before I talk on, let's move to Mr. Oluwadamilare Oladeji. Good evening. Um, are you with us? Bah, bah, bah,
Yes,
bah.
I'm.
All right. So quick one before we just want to do this before we start the meeting. What have you gained so far from the meeting, from the beginning of the meeting up to now? What is your advice to the next set of this program that will be done? And what are you going to work on after now? Yeah, what are you looking
Okay.
into after now? So your advice, your feedback majorly your advice, what you've learned, how you think that we can work on this program much better, and what you gain from it.
Okay, sir. Let me take it one at a time, sir.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, sir. So what I've learned, honestly, is I can't quantify it honestly. Like number one, let me just start with mind shift. Mind shift. There's this thing this meeting has done to me. Like it changed my orientation that it doesn't matter what the situation is, you can always strive to make things work out. Basically, I'm talking from my own perspective and what I've gained now. You can always strive to make things work out. My one of my favorite class was day two and day three, day three, where we're talking about eating roadblocks and solution. Honestly, I was really, let me use the word blessed by that particular um, lecture. And on the third day, when we're talking about vision and its preparation, those two sessions really fired me up that yes, I can become more. And ever since then, I've noticed that I've had this zeal to always work on myself and improve. Like, okay, for example, now I can work for an hour before and maybe not get it and just go back and sit down. But now, after that day, I noticed that okay, this is a roadblock. How will I overcome it? Then I work for 2 hours. I work for more than 2 hours, and after that, I see that I get the result I have imagined or always wanted. I would always get the result after putting in more effort. Okay, this is a roadblock. Then what? How can I overcome it? Then I find the way around it. Okay, I need more time to do this and that. Then I get the result. So basically, my mind has shifted. Especially on that day two and day three. And those guys you said we should read about Jeff Bezos and others like that. I said Jeff Bezos. Those guys they just asked us to read about. Honestly, Walt Disney, Jeff Hawkins, and the likes. The power of more or how little you started or you are starting. There's still a space for you at the top. There's still a space for you at the top. Yes, sir.
Hmm. Okay. Uh,
Okay, let me move to the next question. I think you asked and for an advice on how we can improve, Abi.
yes, yes. What do you feel we can improve?
Basically, I yeah, maybe the audience, like the number of participants, because this mentorship class is just too big for just these like few of us that were here. So I think if you can increase the number of participants, I know it might cost maybe money or so many resources, but I feel the audience should be increased. I feel the audience should be increased. And what else? What else? If it can be done in the day, though this night time too is okay because it's like it's placing everyone on an equal opportunity of time. You know, some people might be busy in the afternoon, but I just feel if it can be done in the day, it would have been okay. And also, I don't know if there is a way we can meet physically. I know the group must be working towards that. The physical version of this mentorship class will be honestly valued, like valued a lot. So we'll just be having maybe morning section, evening section, morning section, and the likes like that. So I feel if a physical version of this mentorship class can be can happen, let me use that word, can happen, then it will be highly appreciated, sir.
All right. Great. We'll look into that too. We'll look into all you said. So the third one.
And sir, one more thing.
Okay, okay.
The task you asked us to do. So I feel the time frame. I'm I'm sorry to say, I feel the time frame is too short for us to be able to achieve, except for few, except for few tasks that can be achieved even within 24 hours. But some would have to take some process before it can be achieved, sir.
Okay. Actually, why we put it that way is because now it's for you to start actually. Now, the presentation tomorrow doesn't
Okay.
have to be that you must have completed the task. It's just that you have started the
Okay.
task and then you have a plan to continue even after now. So again, there are some that
Okay.
you can do it once, but there are some that we need you to start. If you look at it that
Yes.
you will still start, I will still do it, you will not do it later on. But because of that
Yes.
one
Yes.
day, 24 hours interval, you can put something in motion, then you can continue after them.
You are right, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand now, sir. Okay, so is there any other question?
Yeah, so what do you want to work on after now? What is your plan to ensure that whatsoever you want to work on happens? Yeah, let me put it that.
Okay. That's pertaining to. Okay. One more thing I forgot to mention that we can improve on is within. Okay, I know this is an academic program or semi-academic program. We didn't really dwell more on education. Most of the speaker you brought, first class student, first class student, first class student. Okay, how did they achieve that? How were they able to combine? Like, how did they combine school, business, lifestyle together, and they still achieved being a first class student, and they still maintain it. So we didn't talk more on education. Let me see. Like we didn't do more. We are just talking about life, and we didn't talk about the aspect of life, of education as an aspect of life too.
Okay,
Sir.
but I
What
asked
am
you
I getting?
I asked you guys to ask question. Ask them question. It does not necessarily have to be they are facilitator. Ask them question. You know, sometimes it's
Oh,
question that makes you go through some aspects. There are some aspects
yes,
that you
yes,
might not prepare for. You might not just want to talk about, but a question will just make you okay. Let me talk about this and the lines again.
yeah, you
So
are
if you
right.
don't ask question, there is no way. Um, no matter how, you cannot use 1 hour to talk about yourself because
Definitely.
you are, let's say someone that is about 25 years old, you cannot use 1 hour to just talk about the whole story or use 1 hour to talk about your story while on campus. Something you use like 4 or 5 years. So you get.
You are
So,
right.
but if you ask some certain question, they'll be able to talk about it. So, but yeah, no problem. We look into that. Thank you for that. I appreciate.
So let me answer the last question because of time. So basically, like I've raised my standard. Then, boy, you can be more. So through this, after this class or this mentorship class, I would make sure that I'm not on that level I used to be before. Afterwards, now I'm pursuing excellence. That okay, if the accounting, okay, this is one of the influential people, this is one of the top people, this is one of those that have achieved, then they should be able to pinpoint and train. So what am I going to do to achieve that? Then I make sure that number one, I'm disciplined and I'm consistent. You know, consistency sometimes can be hard to really attain, but you know, as I said earlier, my mind has shifted in one way. So I know that yes, with God helping me and with self-determination, I'll be able to achieve those things I've listed, sir.
All right, all right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so let's go to Temiloluwa. Yeah, no typing tonight. No typing. You use your mouth to talk. All right, so what are we talking about? First, what you've learned so far from the program from day one up to now, your feedback about the program, what you love about the program, and your advice to the next set of programs as this that we'll still be doing. What should be your advice, what to improve on, and all those things. And then what do you want to do after now? Right? That's all. Thank you. We are expecting your unmuting and your mouth moving. Don't type us, don't
Good
chat.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm not so sure if you can all hear me, but
Somehow I heard that, but then it went off
I'll keep
again.
talking. Anyways,
Okay.
all right. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, perfectly now.
Okay. All right. So the Levenscrisis Mentorship has been very, very interesting so far. I always look forward to every edition, every session, every night because I like the fact that it's engaging. There are assignments to do, and every of the speakers have this very wonderful way of communicating. So even after the busy day and the stressful activities, every time I log in, I never ever have to regret it. It's always one of a kind. One of the things that I had issues with in the course of the program is the network glitches, which I understand that many of us cannot actually control. And in order to curb that, I would suggest that maybe we engage ourselves in the chat box more often. Perhaps if we have some form of order in the chat box, it would be easier to control how people communicate so that we will not have interference over the network and all of that. So, about the session itself, what it has taught me personally, amongst many other things, is the need to take action. Over the years, we've had a lot of talk and training and information, but I think the Levenscrisis Mentorship helped me to begin to put all of these things into action. It helped me to begin to see things from the aspect of doing, not just hearing. And it's one of the things that I'm still working on currently to ensure that all of these important things that I have learned, that I have put down, that I have enjoyed as teachings, that I can now begin to put them into action and see the results personally. I think that's it. So thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. So, what would be your advice? Your advice? Have you said that? No, I don't think so. Your advice for the
Advice.
next sessions or next mentorship class that will be going on or that will be take place.
Is it in terms of administration or the content or what, sir?
Anywhere, anyhow, any advice as far as concerned with the program or the people or whether the people, the program, yeah.
Okay, well, I would encourage those of us that have participated in this mentorship program to, invite more people to tell a lot of people about it. We'll be surprised at the number of people that are still unaware of very wonderful opportunities like this. And when I saw the flyer, I saw that it was restricted to 200 and 300 level undergraduates. So I was thinking maybe there's a reason for that, but I would suggest that if possible, perhaps those in 100 level can also have the opportunity to learn from it. I think I already talked about the network issues that maybe if we engage in the chat box more often, we can reduce the extent of the network glitches. I don't think there's any more advice really. The program is just it's just great. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Um, I think our facilitator for tonight is here. Okay, so we talk about for others, you will give your feedback after the class. So let's just start the class so that our facilitator can rest as soon as possible. You know the day has been tiring, anyways. All right. So guys, we have our facilitator for tonight here, Mr. TOBI BAMIGBOLA. Um, while I was on campus, my early days on campus, right, it was one of those people that helped us. You know, we are not serious when we started on campus, but this was your guru from the beginning. So we are guru from the beginning. So it's one of those person that I look up to. Like, man, this guy is too excellent. It's too good, right? So you'll be having Mr. Oluwatobi to speak with us tonight. I want us to learn from every single thing we'll be saying tonight. And don't forget your pen, your book to always be with you. And that's one thing that makes us different from one another. Don't forget to put something down. One of the facilitators said it is that pen it down. No matter what the idea, no matter what is coming to your head, just pen it down. Sometimes that's all I do because you can forget. That's the truth. You can forget every single information. But if you pen it down, it can always help you to remember at every single time or point that you need it. You get. So please let's not forget. So I will be muting myself now so that we can have our facilitator for tonight to speak. Thank you. So guys, let's welcome Mr. Bamigbola. Cheers. Let's welcome our guy. Welcome, sir. Yeah.
Sir, welcome, sir.
All right, great.
Good evening and
Welcome,
welcome,
sir.
sir.
So, sir, you can have the Google Meet. Yes, sir. Yeah. Sorry. Hello, can you guys hear me? No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
We cannot hear you, sir. Actually, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, sir. Where is? Oh, let me just confirm. Others, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, perfect. Then I think it's fine. Is end. Mm, sir, we can't hear you, sir. I guess maybe your earphone. If you can check your earphone or maybe your earpiece or your what's it called? So you can check. I think that should be where the concern is. Your maybe the phone is not speaking out from it using the earpiece. So you might or your system. So sometimes once I input my earphone, how am I saying earphone? Earphone, earpiece. I don't know. Once I input your earpiece, it can affect the what's it called, the conversation, because it will only be permitting you to listen to other persons. You will not be sending out signal. So maybe you want to check that. All right, so we should give him a minute. So quickly before it comes in, let's have Grace Obademi. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yes. So we want you to tell us, just give us what you learned about the program, what you like about the program, feedback about the program, what you feel should be worked on, your advice for the next version of this program, yeah, and what you are planning to work on after now.
Okay, good evening, sir, and good evening, everyone.
Good
It's a
evening.
privilege for me to be part of this great achievement. Okay, the thing I learned is that the one thing I learned is that just set your goal and work towards it. That thing really kept me on. Is our I think our second facilitator or our third facilitator that said that statement. It was like set your goal and work towards it. Don't be procrastinating that okay, this is the goal. Okay, my goal is to I know how to draw, but just let me be drawing video, just let me be drawing. Or you have a friends that they're always discouraging you, but you want to do something, you have these ideas. So that's one thing, set your goal. And number two, okay, what is my next step after this program? My next step after this program is to one thing I will not say I have any step for now. I will read all the lectures we have been taught, all lectures we have been taught from the seven facilitators that taught us. So I'll read what they taught us, and then I can go to I can do anything I want to do towards it. Like okay, like this orphanage stuff that you came up with, like we should visit. You're welcome. You said we should. Okay, you gave us a task. I was about doing that thing you gave us, like that list. I was like, okay, I'll do it on my birthday. But when you brought the tax, I was like, and I wanted to do this thing. Okay, this is a privilege for me to even do it. So that's why I picked going to orphanage. So I posted it on my status for donations. Anybody that wants to donate either material materialistic or financially in any way, sha. But and I saw many donations, like people really helped me, and also I put some effort. Then I went there and I gave them some things. I was planning to do it next year on my birthday, but this leadership stuff kept kept me on that. Yes, okay, this is your special. This is what you should specialize on. I was like, that thing has been coming to my mind that Grace, this is your this is your speciality. Like this is where I want you to be. But when and I saw the stuff on the WhatsApp group, I was like, wow, okay. So okay, let me just do this thing, and let me just after the program I will work towards it. So that's it. The program really taught me many things, like many things. And I'll get sir, I want to tell you something now. Like these people we are just doing Google Meet. We're supposed to meet ourselves. Okay, what department are you? What level? Okay, that's another connection again. So that's just what I want to say.
All right. Thank you. Well, that's not an issue. Is you guys are not connected. You guys have been together for the past how many days now, right? So yeah, it's not a problem. And I guess the first day we introduce ourselves, and yes, so you can always connect with yourself. Maybe one of these days we can look forward to a physical it doesn't have to be a meeting. It can be a physical reunion in quote or something. But that's not a problem. But then you can always connect. That's what our facilitator taught us, right? So what will be your advice for the next program, for the next mentorship program? What will be your advice? Or one thing that you should work on, or one thing that should be adjusted about the program, or something? Any which way, just your advice.
Okay. I don't really have any advice. I don't really have it because most if I say some if, like I don't even know what to say sef, because there's some perspective that I have, but throughout these seven meetings that we've have from our facilitators, like they've taught me many things that we're not supposed to be thinking. Okay, let me just say one. Okay, the other day I was like, so I want to ask a question. I was asking the facilitator a question that, okay, sir, if I have an idea and nobody's ready to help, it was like I shouldn't even think like that because nobody's a I think he said nobody's a success for the other, like nobody is a helper for another sha. So something so for me, I would say for me, but the facilitator said something, so I don't want to look wrong at the front of these people. Sha. So I would say people have a lot. Okay, let's see the orphanage I went to yesterday. If we are asked to, like many people, they are supposed to go to. Okay, I was I was off when some people are saying their own. When I went to my own yesterday, I was not having cash on me, but thank God for my neighbor. Like he was one that brought that suggestion. He was like, Grace, you can post it on your status now. Like people can really help donations and all. I was like, I don't even know where to even go to among all these things, and I want to do the task. It's the one that I've been doing it, and it should not be the task now. And or they should be asking me questions. I should not be doing it now. So that's the reason. So if it's left for me, that I chose that stuff that like orphanage, I can just chat you guys that this is what I chose. Oh. But I'm not I'm not buoyant for now. So but the facilitator have really changed me in that in the case of you don't have anything, you can see me. So that's just
All right. Thank you. Uh, I don't know if our facilitator is back now. Hello, sir. Are you with us, sir? Um, okay. Let's Let's wait a bit. All right. So Favor, are you with us? Favor. Okay, he said he's back. I guess the audio is a little bit. I'm not sure I can hear you from this end. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure I can hear you from this end. And then the sound icon is not even moving. Maybe you might want to log out and log in, sir. Maybe that will resolve it a little. All right, great. Okay, so let's have Favor. Are you there? I don't know if this one that Favor has spoken in the last 5 or 6 minute meetings. She's always muted. Always muted. All right, it's fine. Victoria, are you with us? Gumala, Victoria, are you with us? Hello, Vida, you used to mute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, much better, sir. We can hear you now, sir.
Okay, I don't even know what is happening. That's so funny to me. Well, so you can hear me now, right?
Yes, we can hear you now, sir.
Finally. Thank God. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
As Sister Temi has said before, actually, I will be making use of the chat box. Like, I mean, for response, I would like the chat box to be used for response because of echo. Do you understand? Sister Temi said it the other time. Like, the first person that was contributing, like, what can be done better, what maybe in the next edition, something like that. So you can always make use of the chat. I will always see it whenever I ask you a question or the other. Just respond. Do you understand?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's fine, sir.
You are ready. I'm ready.
Yes, we are ready, sir.
Hello.
We are ready. We are ready, sir. We are ready, sir.
Okay. So can oh so because I'm not hearing response.
Hello, sir. We are hearing you, sir.
Okay. So when you are ready, I'm also ready. Are we ready now? Am I
Yes.
am I waiting for anything?
Yes, sir. We are
Yes,
ready,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Ready?
And I want to share my screen with us. Yeah. Just straight to the top. Mute yourself, no problem. You can mute yourself. Yeah, let's move to today's topic: managing excuses and the art of consistency. Are you with us?
Yes,
Are
sir.
we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Before I start, I want to ask you a question. You can unmute yourself. Don't worry. When we are into the something, I don't want to spend so much time. So you can unmute yourself just for response. Yeah. I just want to ask us, you can actually speak one after the other. When you saw the flyer of this program, how many of you just first of all thought of it like, I don't think I can be qualified for this meeting? How many of you? This one is just a simple analysis. Hello, like you feel like I, I don't think they can pick me. Like the
Hi,
people in
sir.
charge of this thing. How many people? How many of you feel like that? You felt that at the beginning of the when you saw the flyer at first.
Yes, sir. Hi, sir.
If let's just say many of us felt like that, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
yeah. And again, how many of you still? How many of you respond to the message almost immediately? How many of you responded to the message almost immediately? How many of you? Like you responded when you saw the flyer, you just responded
I
immediately. How
did,
many of you
sir.
did
Hi,
that?
sir.
You can.
I saw it on Bro Lukman status, and when we entered this year, I was like, I want to go into leadership stuff. I was just telling my neighbor, and when I saw the flyer, I was like, okay, can I apply? He was like, I can apply, so that's why I applied, and I was expecting them.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and my last question. My last question is: how many of us think to go through whatsoever we've jotted since last week Monday? I mean, today should make it a week and a day, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So, how
Yes,
many
sir.
of us intended to go through the go through all the classes? How many of us intended to do that?
Yes,
Hi,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. I sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hi, sir. Yes,
Uh,
sir.
okay. I'm just trying to get a report. Yeah. What I'm just trying to say is just that when it comes to you, there are other people that actually got this flyer, and in one way or the other, something or the other might have limited them from applying or
Ah, mo dúpẹ́ rẹ̀ nínú oúnjẹ sọ. Ìṣèjọba àkọ́rin ló ń sìn lọ. Á padà.
you can mute yourself now. You can mute yourself now. Yeah, as I was saying, so something or the other must have affected them whether to apply or not to apply. So, and some of us now, you cannot actually capture everything that you have been taught on Monday all at once unless you go over them. You will actually be shocked when you go over them. You say, why is it that I did not take note of this when this teacher was teaching us all the other? So straight to the matter now. Yeah, managing excuses and the heart of consistency. So the first one I have here is that just as it is human to eat, it is also human to make excuses. Yeah, to make excuse. However, excuses has been stratifying, differentiating, separating, and classifying man from time immemorial. You understand? For instance, now you could actually know. I used to think that why is it that some people are great and some people are not great. So, yeah, I used to think about it, but when I try to understand, I understand that some people actually they stretch themselves, they go beyond their limitation. Some people are like, no, this one will not limit you. Even when they have all the right to give up, they are not giving up. Like, no, I will not permit this. Are we getting me?
Yes, sir.
You can talk in the chat box. I will see it. You can respond in the chat box. So as I was saying, so as I just said now, however, excuse has been stratifying and differentiating, separating, classifying man from time immemorial. So to cause a great exploit, even in this our dispensation, one sure need to find a way of managing excuses. So if you understand what I just said now, we cannot do without excuses. We can't do without them, but we can actually manage them. We understand. Just as the way that we cannot do without eating. So let me go to the next one here. So how many of us know this woman? How many of us know this woman? Yeah.
Sir, the screen is somehow
You can mute yourself and talk. How many of you know this woman here?
the screen is not displaying like in full size. It's showing by the left hand side of
Size.
the
Okay.
whole thing. Yeah, so it's I
Okay.
don't.
Let me change. How about like this? How about this?
Yes, it's much better this way, sir.
It's better like this. Okay. I'm sorry. I was using landscape before. Sorry. So is this one okay?
Yeah, this is much better, sir.
Is this one okay?
Yes, sir.
Is it better?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
I can
sir.
still reduce it. So
No, it's better this way. Even if you can zoom it, it will be much better. But it's okay this way.
how about this?
Bulajado.
It's okay like this, right?
Yes, sir. It's okay, sir. It's
Okay.
okay. It's okay.
No
Only if
problem.
you want to zoom in so that it will be bigger, but it's okay.
How about this?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay. So as I was saying, how many of us know this woman? You some people will just go sleep like that. There's some people will still go like, no, let me let's go somewhere else or let's go online. We can actually see some people who have done this practical before. Let's use their file. They went beyond their limitation. We get it. So I have something here. It says that any excuse that will make you to limit your original intention is not worth it, however genuine it may be. There's something that used to happen, especially to me. Sometimes if I don't want to do something or something will stress me, there's this, there's still where there's let's assume I'm actually accountable to somebody. There's a way I can present an excuse, and it will be really, really genuine. That even if the man is logical and sensible, that this guy tried. But then deep down inside me, I know that if I want to find a way, I'll surely find a way. So in managing excuses, any excuse that you are giving that will make you to limit your original intention, it's not worth it at all. Never, it's not worth it. However genuine it may be. Do we get that? Yeah, I move to the next one. The world wouldn't want to know how you did it or the problem you encounter
So we
at
can't see
first.
the
Not,
screen. The
oh
screen
my God.
has
How
become
about,
blank, like black, completely black.
okay, let me increase my, oh my God. See me. How about now?
Not yet.
How about now?
Not yet.
You can still see.
Yes, it's completely blank. Like they are saying something like an awesome black surface.
How
Not
about
like
now?
the surface is still awesome, but it's black.
Oh my God. What's happening today?
Maybe if you
Let me
can,
use another.
or
Let me use another.
if you can
I want to use
unshare,
another
then share again.
on share. Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah, I think it should work.
okay. Share screen. Network do normal. And Romuiwa,
Yes, sir.
when the screen come up, let me just tell me. I want to continue. When the screen comes up, just tell me.
Okay, it's
When you are
yes. The
are
screen
you
is
saying
up. We
something
are
now?
saying something. Yes. Any excuse that would
You can
make
say
you limit your original intention is not worth it. However genuine it may be. Yes, you are saying that, sir.
you get it. Okay. And this way I stop here. So you already had an intention before, but maybe because of the obstacle you face or because of how stressful that thing can be. You know, say, I'm not doing this thing again. Or maybe you just develop an excuse like, well, let's assume you're accountable to some people or you are doing that thing for some people. And you're like, if they ask me that, why is it that I'm not doing it as I intended before or what we agreed on? And you are given an excuse, no, it doesn't worth it. Do you understand?
Yes,
So, are you seeing the next slide?
yes, sir.
Do you see the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
you can, you can,
Yes,
you
sir.
can.
Okay.
Yes, sir, we can.
The world wouldn't want to know how you did it or the problem, the excuses, the limitation you encountered at first until you make a significant impact. I'm pretty sure we are familiar with this. Many a time when you see successful people, when I say successful people now, don't quote me wrong. When I mean successful, I mean people that make impact. They make life better. They are making impact in their society, in their world. So it's not necessarily money per se. You understand? I mean people that are giving value. That's what I mean. So most times you hear about them when they've actually made the impact, right? You don't hear about them when they are facing trouble. Most times they will say that you hear people say that there is a story behind the glory, right? But the first thing you will actually see, the first thing that is visible to people is the glory. So after that, they now say, how did you do it? Then you know, it wasn't easy. You know, do you know that I faced this? I faced this. It is until then that people really want to hear your story. When you actually cause an impact, when you are able to overcome the excuse, when you are able to overcome the limitation, when you are able to overcome the problem. So that's where this one come from. The world wouldn't want to know how you did it, all the problem, all the excuses, all the limitations you encounter at first, not until you make a significant impact. Yeah, I have some things here. It says six principle to managing excuses. Are you seeing anything? Are you seeing?
Yes, sir.
Is
Yes,
it
sir.
clear?
Yes, sir.
I want. Are you seeing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
sir, we
says
can.
six principle to managing excuses. Instead of complaining, make a suggestion. All right. I could actually have cite an example because of time. I don't want to do that. Like, okay, let me just cite one. Where I am now, there are some things that they are not normal. Like they are not normal to what I consider as normal. Okay, they are not correct as considered as normal. So most times I know that if I actually complain, it will be like what's his problem? He just came around, not quite long, not even up to like it's not even up to a year, and he's saying all these things that we are here before. So the only thing I do is just that I just do it in a different way. So when if they see something just people cannot deny something that is better than the way they are doing it before. They can't deny it. If it's actually awesome, if it's excellent, and if it is much more easy, if it's much easier, people cannot deny it unless it is maybe demonic or whatsoever. So instead of complaining, make suggestion. Instead of looking at a problem, take responsibility by finding a solution at that level. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? So when we are at that level now, like there are safer solutions to problem, but sometimes we might be limited by maybe by where we are at that moment. But then there's always a solution at that level. There's always a solution at that level. So you should not. There's something you should have at the back of your mind that you can leave a problem the way you met it. At least start it. Somebody will continue it. Instead of playing the victim, strive to become a victor. Right? Okay. I This one is personal, but let me just tell you this. Just few weeks ago now, I some people robbed me in quotes now. It wasn't so much of robbery. Yeah, robbed me, and normally, there's a way that you just be feeling like and this thing happened to me. And if for the first time in many years, I moved on. Like the second day I still went to work. I know a normal me. When something happened to me, I'll first of all want to fix myself. But I knew that in trying to fix myself, other things are going to be affected. Can you imagine that I did not actually I just went to work. In fact, a week after the incidents, I was like, really, God has really helped you. Like you do not even forgotten about yourself. There's a clause to that too. I'm not saying that you should forget about yourself now. Like what I'm just saying is that I have enough excuse not to go to work that day. Enough excuse because my phone was actually taken from me, and a lot of things will actually will not move forward. But I was like, instead of that, it's just my phone. Let that one be for now. I can still pursue it later on. So the next one, instead of justifying your mistake, learn from them. This one, many people are guilty of it. Many people. Instead of criticizing others, show them the right way to doing that. I think I've even mentioned it in number one before. Instead of judging others, glean wisdom from their experiences. There are two ways of getting wisdom. First of all, maybe define wisdom or whatsoever the source. Define wisdom from any other source. But the other wisdom that is actually very important that in this realm now, I mean in this our dispensation is wisdom from others. Like do what other people did or be careful of what other people. You are just looking at what they did. No, this person did this thing. He made them say, no, I should not follow this way. Let me follow the other way. So that one's actually common. So the next one, you can emote yourself. What are you guys seeing? I want to ask you a question. What are you guys seeing here? When you see all this picture here, what do you guys see? What does it just a word? What comes to your mind? You can emote yourself. When you see this picture, what do you see? Like what do you sense? You can unmute yourself. Hello.
Yes, sir. From my own end, I see people that have gone all out for wisdom and excellence and have achieved it in their various spheres of influence.
Okay. One. Let me take two or three more people. Just like what you see, or maybe in respect to what we are doing today. Yeah, in respect to what we are doing today. What do you see? Any other person? Just a
Yeah.
Excellent, sir. Excellent.
excellence and let me take two more persons.
Okay. What
Yes, sir.
what I see is just people who have gone out of their way to overcome the limitations that came their way, and they have become someone great today.
Okay. One more person. Thank you. One more person. One last person. Any other person? Okay, can you still check this one too? Check this one too. This one I'm showing now. Yeah. What can you see in this next slide too? Is there anything like just one word? One word. Somebody, just two people now. Two people because of time.
So I see innovative people and people who like dare venture into something that has never been done before.
I like this one. That's one. Second person. One more person. One more person. Is there any other person? Yeah, the first one that just talk now. She actually strike a chord. Yeah.
Trying to create value, trying to solve a major problem in society.
Maybe, okay. Yeah, no problem. Let me just leave it here. I hope you are still seeing it, yeah. Are we still seeing it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For me now, what I see is just the people that are actually consistent. That are actually if you see these people now, these people have actually been consistent for years. It's not like they used to say that they are not star of yesterday. You understand? There are people that have been consistent over the years. Like you always hear about them. What is keeping? There's somebody actually in this picture. I couldn't add him. Is I know some people. Most of us know him. Mike Bamiloye. Mike Bamiloye. Whenever I study the life of that man, the man has been consistent since more than that actually. But let me just say since 1985, and till this moment, he's still consistent. In fact, it has become bigger. And some of us actually, we grew up seeing their movies, right? So these guys, they have been consistent over time. There is something that is actually keeping them. If some of us actually watch the story of that man's life, they talk about the time he's starting up. He had limitation that some people were like, how can I'm so sorry, I don't know, I don't so much know all of my audience now, but I'm just a bit biased here now. I'm so sorry if I go beyond stuff. Yeah, they're like, how can a Christian be acting? It has not been done before. Acting is secular in quotes. But then see what that thing has actually turned to now. So another thing that you say, they're actually innovators, people that they see a problem and they solve it. And if you remember the other time we were talking about, when you see a problem, don't leave it the way you see it. Even if you cannot solve it totally, make it better than you find it. So all these people, they're actually innovators. Something happened last week Monday, and if you are very careful of it, like that's WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook, it was down for like maybe for in my own side, it was down for 6 hours. If you actually check social media, if you know the amount of money that was lost among many other stuff, you'll be wowed. And again, when I read about something, a BBC article was actually released. An article was released by BBC sometimes in 2019. I was just reading about it. This guy named Mark said that he's going to create a religion in quote now that people will not be able to do without. You understand what I'm trying to say? A religion. It's not religion per se. Something is going to create something in which people will not be able to do without. And as you can have it now, how many of us can do without social media? I'm not talking about addiction now. I mean, as regards our day-to-day life. That day, I was trying to reach some people. In fact, texting them normally was actually hard for me because I was just used to going to WhatsApp and send message to somebody, and whether you are online or not, whether you are online or you're not, like the message has been delivered. I will even see when it's delivered. So I even saw the normal way of sending text as archaic, as obsolete. So this guy now was like, this guy's actually crazy. So and we see how Facebook has been consistent over the years. So that's one. So I'm actually just diving into the art of consistency. So check out the next one I have here is that imagine trying to get a cold water boy with an epileptic power supply. To get a cold water boil, there must be an intermittent, consistent supply of it to the water, without which the water will not boil. It is certainly not boil. What I'm trying to say here is just that let's assume you want to boil water, you want to bath. Those people that do not use cold water to bath, you want to bath in the morning, and maybe you are using a gas. It's also a power supply. So as you put the water on fire, and after 5 minutes you put it off. So you allow the water to stay again for another 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you put the power on again. And again, after 5 minutes, you put it off again. So in that order, the water will not boil. Even if it boils, it cannot boil to your satisfaction because after 5 minutes you put it off. After 5 minutes you put it on again, so it will not boil. Water does not boil. Water boils by consistent eating. That's when water boils. I mean, when I'm talking about getting to 100%. So that's something about consistency. You have to be consistent, really consistent. The art of just similar to that. So there is one thing I want to. I said some great mind define consistency as, I've heard this one before and I've not seen it before, that consistency is the real focus. Like when you are focused, like have you heard about the other focus on your focus? I don't know if you've heard about that before. Maybe in social media or anywhere. Focus on, you are focused. You are not being focused on your focus. Do you understand? You are focused on something, no? Then but then you are not focused. You are sticking to that same thing. Not that you did it today, and maybe when you encounter problem, you now left it. Not that you should not leave something, but when you leave something to go and gain ideas or to go and find a way of solving it. So as he said now, consistency is the real focus and consistency is the new speed. Honestly, one of my friends is actually learning a new skill now, and the person was telling me that it's very hard though. I just told the person that, see, at first it's very hard at first, but just stick to it. You just be surprised at as far as you can go just in a month. Just stick to it. If you are tired, leave it. Still come back. So as you are saying, consistency is the new speed. This one, when I was, as I've said, this particular study that you are saying, I said that even the ancient book said Jesus the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. That one always challenged me. He never changed. Like he never changed. Just today is consistent, very consistent, very consistent. So that's the applying to consistency. So I I want to show us something. I'm coming. Just 1 minute. Just few seconds, rather. Few seconds. Yeah. And Bromuiwa.
Yes, sir.
Bromuiwa.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
actually
sir.
want to ask you a question. I want
Okay.
to ask you a question. It's part of this class. It's part of this class.
Okay. We are
And
seeing a
did
part, some great men. The part of the slide that we are still seeing is imagine trying to get cold water boil like with and blah blah. That's the part of the
okay,
slide
how,
we are
how
still
about
seeing.
how about now?
It's still the same thing. If maybe you help us
Uh,
scroll up or something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I've actually been scoring now. How about this?
I guess from this side, maybe it's from
No.
my end only. I'm still seeing that same thing. Maybe it's from my end only.
Let's. How about that? How about that? Do you see the
It's still the same thing. It's still the same
same
thing, sir.
thing? And let me unshare this slide. Let me unshare this slide and do it again. Now, how about now? How about now? Are you guys seeing anything?
We are seeing this thing. Yes, even the ancient book said Jesus the same yesterday and forever.
The same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Do you see that?
Yes, yes, sir. That's where we are saying.
Yeah, yeah. Let me go to the previous one. Let me go. Yeah. It says so. Some great mind define consistency is the real focus. And some people say that consistency is the new speed. And actually, it's very correct, really correct. And I still said that even the ancient book said Jesus the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. you can see that there's consistent. He has a consistent life, something that is consistent. I actually have other backups, but because this one is limited, that's why I just stop here. Yeah, probably actually you are part of this class. Just like in a minute, I want to ask you a question.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so how did you start up as a UI UX developer? Do you just jump at it like that? Can you just tell us the process in 30 seconds as a UI UX developer? How did you
Okay.
start up? Yeah, can you just tell us in 30 seconds? Yeah.
Okay. For the fact that I've been into design for a while, and I know that what I want to do, what I'm looking into in doing is something related to human-centric design, which is design that is about the user, not the design that is about the visual. So I just know that yes, I needed to learn what it entails to make this. So I went online, search about it, learn about some certain things that I will need to do for me to be able to become this kind of person. So then I began to take that process one after the other until then I got to this level in the professional scale. So 30 seconds.
Okay. I think that's actually what I needed. Like taking the step one after the other. You already know what you wanted to do. So you know that you have to be consistent and taking the step one after the other. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So in other words, you were actually consistent at a point, right?
Yes, sir.
To getting to where you are. Yeah. So there's if you now is going to my next one. If you actually want to achieve something great in life, you have to be consistent, really consistent. If you're not consistent, like what do people know you with? That's actually an aspect though. But then I'm talking about the art now. Like in whatsoever you are doing, you have to be consistent with it. Now, I mean, doing positively now, consistent. If you actually want to make impact in that line, or maybe in your work, or maybe in fact, even maybe some of us that we believe in God now, we know that God does not want somebody that is not consistent. Consistent is something that can be transferred to whatsoever we are doing. You are consistent in your work. You are consistent in your maybe in your belief. You are consistent. Even if you want to get fat. I'm not talking about those people that they just sleep like they get fat. Like if you want to like biologically now, you have to eat and you have to eat consistently, and not only consistent, you have to eat balanced diet. Do you understand? So the next one I want to say just the next one here. I don't. Are you seeing my slide now? I hope it has not changed again. Are you seeing my slide?
Yes, we can see it clearly, sir.
So I said, do not downplay the power of starting small to growing big. This is what bets consistency. So it's like a journey, enjoy it. Like what Romeo has said the other time that it was a process before it became what it became now. And I'm pretty sure there's still much more. It's a process. You can't stop. If you check the picture now, they are just like two ladders. Two ladders. Some they are like the distance between a step and the other is very small, and the other one is very wide. Like when you can't just jump process, and I call the process condition. You can't jump it. Even if you're a genius, you can't jump it. There will still be some things you have to know if you really want to be sound. So are you seeing the picture I zoom out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see it
Yes,
clearly.
yes, yes. So yeah. So it's a process. You can't actually jump it at all. So do not downplay the power of starting small to growing big. This is what builds consistency. I know I can still use the example of Facebook. I can use the example of that crazy guy named Elon Musk. In fact, let me even go back. There's something that someone said that relates to this thing. I'm trying to go back. I just want to read something now. Yeah. So he said Elon Musk said that when something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds is not in your favor. So another person said something. He said that he said always. Are you seeing this stuff? Are you
Yes,
seeing
sir.
this stuff?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hope
sir.
I'm not. Hope it's not blank
Yes,
again.
sir, we can.
Yeah, let me
Yes,
just
sir,
read
we
one
can
more.
see it.
Somebody said that always deliver more than expected. You are just consistent. That you are consistent. So let me go to I think that's the second to the next slide before you just end the class. Yeah. So the second to the next slide. I'm waiting for this to load. I'm sorry for the network, honestly. I'm really sorry. I wish you could, yeah. The last, yeah, second to the next slide. The next slide is I said that you can you can predict the future of a man who makes excuses at the sight of obstacle, problem, or maybe difficulty. Now you can predict the future of that man. However, it is extremely difficult to speculate the outcome of a consistent man. It's actually very difficult because you don't know how far the person can go. It's only God that know when I've heard about this man, Sam Adeyemi. So several of us actually we know his impact, like his influence when during the NSAS protest. Just like it's not many people have not even met this man, or even some people don't even know the man before. But that NSAS something brought him to landlight. Like he's actually popular before now, but then see the way he was doing. This actually me, I've known him before, but I know some people have also known him. But then see that man now. He has been consistent over the years. But then this guy must have actually mastered the art of consistency. In fact, even if you go through social media, a lot of things he does. How does he do it? And he's still developing as much as he's helping others. So, as I've said, you can predict the future of a man who makes excuses at the sight of obstacle. However, it is extremely difficult to speculate the outcome of a consistent man. And finally, I see. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry for the network. I'm so sorry about that. So, assignment to be submitted in a week time to the host in no less than 200 words. What is analysis paralysis as it relates to managing excuses? Don't worry, I'm going to send the slide to the host. So the host will actually can share it with all of you. Do you understand? I can send this. I can, even if the host permits, I will just send it to him. He can send it to you people. So I guess I'm done. This is not everything, but then because of the time spent, in fact, I want to use 30 minutes, but then because of forth going back, going forth, I spend more than 30.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate you. We appreciate the class. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, guys, let's say a big thank you to Mr. Bamigola.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very
Thank you,
much,
sir.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, so guys, as I said, the assignment, what is analysis paralysis? I guess some people are just hearing that word for the very first time. But nevertheless, you can just search it out and know what the meaning is, right? And then he said you should write in, I think in not less than 200 words, I guess, or in 200 words, one or two.
In no less than 200 words.
Okay, okay, okay.
I think it's coming off it.
All right, great. So let's just research about it, write, learn more about it, then write it. Write about depending on your own. There are so many things about it, anyways. There are so many things about it online. So yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are saying something, sir.
And that's why I said as it relate to managing excuses, and there are so many things about it. True. So that's why limit yourself. The scope of it is as it relates to managing, as it relates to this class here. In one way or the other, I've actually mentioned it a bit. I did not touch it so well. So if you do the assignment, there's possibility I drop you my own work. I just drop it for you people. That's if you do the assignments between that space of time. So maybe something else can also happen. Yeah.
All right. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, so maybe something else can also happen, right? That's the truth, right? So, and then also, guys, I want you to all me to appreciate Mr. Babidola. He has been so supportive to this class, right? and in all means, they have been so supportive to this class, financially, in advice, in so many ways that even I cannot explain to you guys, right? But I will really want you guys to appreciate him so much. He's one of those people that made this thing to be possible, actually, right? So, guys, so let's appreciate, unmute yourself and appreciate this time around. Don't type only.
Thank you.
Don't type
Thank
only.
you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate. Thank
Thank
you
you very
very
much.
much.
Yeah, we
Thank you
appreciate.
Thank
very
you
much.
very
We
much.
appreciate.
God
We
bless
should
you.
we should
Thank you
actually
very
be thanking the host actually. We should be thanking the
much.
host.
Yeah, that sounds like
Thanks to the host. Thanks to the facilitators. Thanks to everyone. Really appreciate. Thank you very, very much.
that
Thank you, sir.
actually that's okay. That's fine. I only ask you guys to appreciate him, not myself, right? So let's just focus on what I said, right?
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you guys. Okay. Um Anybody with any question? Let's start from there. Let's start from there. Question. Anybody? Anybody question? I think you are still presenting, sir. Maybe you want to how will I say it? But it's still showing on your screen that you are typing, you are presenting, sir. All right, so
Sir?
it's showing on the screen
Okay.
that you are still presenting. Maybe you want to. All right, so
Okay. I don't know. I should stop talking, right? That what you're saying?
like
Should
it's
I
still,
or should I?
yes,
I
yes.
know. I just leave it there. But
Okay,
should I?
okay, no
I should.
problem,
Okay,
no
okay, no
problem. If
problem.
it's
Okay.
deliberation, no problem, sir. All right, so
Deliberate. It's deliberate.
guys, question, anybody? No question. Okay, I. It would be nice if you guys can ask questions. Don't forget today is the last day one, and I don't know. My question has always been this part because no matter what you have been learning, if consistency is not there, right? The whole thing will not work out as intended, right? And then if there is no consistency, there is no diligence, there is no persistency. It will be difficult to achieve anything whatsoever it is.
Okay, when are we going to submit the assignment given to us, sir?
So in a week time. Yes, in a week time. Although it still depend, the timing still depend on the host. But I am giving you 7 days at least if you want to read about it. And that's even this one I said I want to share. I will send my what the name my 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 slide to you people too. So, but I'm giving you 7 days, but not everything still depend on the host because I'm going to you are going to submit to him. He's going to send it to me. I'm going to check it out.
Okay, since you said a week, that's fine. That's okay. Yeah,
Because
maybe me.
I the reason why I say so because the reason why I say it's depending on you. I don't know if they had other assignment before, so I don't know, and so that's why I say I don't want it to clash. And I know that most of them they are students and they have other things they are doing. That's why I say 7 weeks. Sometimes it might not be more than 3 days, and I don't know if you've given their assignment before.
No, sir, there is no other assignment for now. I was thinking um maybe 2 days initially, but if you say 7 days, it's fine. Okay, someone is asking a question, sir,
It depends on. Okay.
on the chat box.
Yeah, I'm going to check it.
Person is saying, sir, in your course of getting consistent, how did you train yourself? It looks hard for me because if I keep repeating the same thing for 2 or 3 days, I get bored. Yeah, it's all right.
Huh. Hmm. Okay. Myself. Okay. I think story and okay. The way I train myself or what works for me might not work for you, but then can just get something out of it. But there's something I believe in do over, like doing something again. I'll use safer example now. Let me use academics now. If I let's assume I'm to attend a class, yeah, and the class is 7 o'clock. So today I couldn't make 7 o'clock. I make it maybe 7:30. I just make after 7. You understand? I know that kind of feeling when you attend a class when the lecturer is already in the class. You know how disorganized you can be if you're not very careful. So I would have noted it. There's a way I do it. I would have noted it that see next time I won't miss. It's not possible. It's not possible. Like, okay, it's not. In short, what has happened to me before, I don't any bad thing that has happened to me before, I don't let it happen to me again. As long as it's within my power, I don't allow it to happen to me again. And again, too, when when you are trying to do so, when you are trying to learn a skill, or when you're trying to get um, get something that is tangible, it's not always easy. It's not always easy. Somebody said that it is hard to make money. One, it is hard to keep money, but then it is very easy to spend it. In fact, everybody gets automatic annuity in spending money, right? So there are that's one of the things you know something that is valuable is very hard to get, very hard to get. So anything you are trying to learn at first is actually at the just like you have to. I don't know if you remember in chemistry, they call something activation energy. So the energy barrier you have to break first before you actually start doing it. So before you actually start doing it in a way that you feel like I've mastered this thing. So at first it's actually very hard. That's why the consistency is something that is what is it that is broad. So that's why I use time now. So let's assume you want to attend a class. Anything that for me now, anything you are saying that in general, how did you train yourself? For me now, anything that has happened to me before that I don't like, I don't permit it to happen to me again. For me now, anything that has happened to me before that I don't like, I don't permit it to happen to me again. That's number one. And number two, I read some stuff. I just listen to mentors that can affect my life positively. Positively. There's a project I'm working on now, and the woman I'm following, you actually know her. Chimamanda Achedi. I don't know how to call her name. You should know what I'm talking about. So I'm working on a prayer, and the project is a storytelling. I've been working on it for a while now. So I know the woman, but then I don't know the reason why I'm not just interested in reading her story. But then I just went on YouTube and I just listened to one of her what the name? One of her speech. Honestly, I was wowed. I was like, wait, I just choose not to listen to her before. So first of all, I did not allow what happened to me before happen to me. One and two, I learn from others, especially those that have reached that state. Now, ask question until you even become what you are asking. Just ask question. As in, be like when I ask that person this question now, and they will be like, "Wala mi ti poju." That's in Yoruba. Like, my own is too much. No, no. Ask until you become what you are asking. Do you understand? So there are several ways to actually train yourself to be consistent. In fact, another way is that most of the things that will make you that you are running away from are something that you actually deliberately make yourself to be in that situation. Make yourself to be in that. For instance, let's assuming that you are trying to learn how to play football. Always carry yourself to the field because that's the place they are playing that football. So you can't actually be playing ball at home. You can't actually see professional footballer playing ball at home. So carry yourself to the field. Do you understand? So there are several ways of actually getting to be consistent. And again, now in writing, they say that how do you become a good writer? Continue writing, even if it's rubbish. Continue writing. There will be a day that you just break that artificial energy. You're like, wow, I'm not the one that wrote this before. And that's actually like a process. That's why I said enjoy the journey. It's not actually easy. I tell you the truth, it's not easy. But then if you start, do, do, do again. you see that you actually become easy. And again, get people that you've seen that are doing this thing before, what you want to get, what you are trying to get at, what you're trying to be good at, that are doing it. So that shows that it's possible. Then you can also do it. But sometimes if you are not seeing, just like you are drawing a picture, you are seeing that picture, somebody has drawn it before, or maybe it was wherever you get it. So you're already seeing what you are drawing. So whatsoever you want to become, whether you want to become consistent, get people that are already consistent at it. They will actually help. That's a way too. I don't know if I've been able to answer your question satisfactorily.
Mr. Ife? Oh, he has replied. He said, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so all right, great. So any other person? Any other person? Okay. All right. So that's good. So thank you so much once again, sir. We sincerely want to appreciate you for the time spent and the whole thing. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, you are welcome, sir. And by the way, I'm dropping a message for this fellow that asked the question. I forgot to add to it. Let me just say it. When you get bored, just go and do something that will distract you. When you get bored in being consistent, that's why you don't just do one thing at it. You don't do one thing all the day. There are other stuff that you're also doing. At least you don't just have a goal or two goals or three goals. So put just like when you are in a school, they don't teach you mathematics all through the day. You get bored. There's mathematics, English, geography, and the likes. So always mix it with something. Or whenever you get bored, just go and do something else. For me now, personally, if I get bored of something, I just go outside, go and do something else. Or maybe just go and do something that will distract me from it. After a while, I'll just get at it again. So don't just do one thing. Like when you're trying to be consistent now, so you don't do one thing. As you don't get a course all through the day, like Monday mathematics, Tuesday English, Wednesday, and maybe a page something. So every there's always they always put something in between. You understand? You can also create that kind of system for yourself. Anything that actually to be something that interests you. Do you understand?
All right, all right, great, awesome. Okay. So yeah, guys. So as today is our final meeting, these facilitators help us with books that we can read more even after the meeting. Fine. There are 1 million books in this world, right? How am I saying 1 million? Okay. There are a lot of books in this world. Right? So if you want books that you can read, you have many that you cannot even finish. Right? So, but no problem. Just say the kind of books you need, and then you can address that need rather than telling you books. Right? Just say your need. They can address the need and tell you the appropriate one they feel that you can check out.
Actually what I also want to say. Don't just don't just read the book. Read the book according to your need. For instance, the example you asked now, maybe how to be consistent at whatever you are doing. That's a book. You can get that kind of book. So that will actually, as long as you are reading, make sure you are doing active reading. As you are reading, you are participating in the book. There are some instructions that the book will actually give to you. So if you actually want to be a good reader, read something that is affecting you directly. If you are reading something that is not actually directly affecting you, you might not actually practice it. Have you read this book? I've read it. What has it turned into your life? You won't say something that I've read a lot of books. But then I'm not saying I should not read book now, but I'm saying that if you really want book to translate very well into your life, read books that apply to you. Maybe what you are facing, for instance, now they did not give you your 500 level material in 100 level. It's what you needed in 100 level that you were given 100 level. I mean, I'm talking about the school curriculum now. Do you understand? Just to add that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. So awesome. So guys. Okay. Let's quickly do this, and we can begin to round up for the whole meeting. So let's get feedback from others that have not yet given us feedback about the class. So let me state what we are talking about. So once we call the person, you tell us about what you've learned so far from this mentorship program from day one up to this point. Then those things that really helped you, then you talk about feedback generally. Then you talk about your advice for the next mentorship classes that I might hold. What advice are you looking into that maybe we could have done this, we could have done this, or we should do this and this and this. So that's basically, and then what you are looking forward to doing after now, right? More like your consistency pattern after now. So let's have Ogumola Victoria. Yeah, it's all right. Shall I know after now? All right, Alabi Deborah, are you with us? Wait, is it that you guys cannot hear me or you guys are afraid? I don't know. Yeah. All right. Janet.
We can hear you, sir.
All right. Good. So Janet, let's have you.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We are talking about what I've gained in this class.
We are muting.
Can I continue, sir?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. Talking about what those things I've gained from the class.
Can you hear me?
Just learn.
Deborah, be muted. Mute yourself. Wait. After you continue after Janet, please. All right.
Okay. Yeah. So from the class, I've really gained a lot, and one of those things I've learned is that number one, I should understand the present condition, like what I am, the situations around me at the present, and now how to face what is at the moment to maximize the opportunities I have at this moment and to make use of them. Yeah, and also how to um, to be consistent at whatever thing I am intending to do at the moment, like those things I intend to do, those things I am, that's how I can bring out the best in me. And also I've learned to face fears and overcome obstacles. So talking about the class generally, my feedback is really the class has been a very, very wonderful experience, a very, very wonderful one. So it's been great. I love the way things are structured. I love the structure of things, and I really have no regrets joining the class. No regrets. And the only thing I can see is just the network issues we had along the line. And I know that's not the fault of the facilitators. It's just a normal thing that could occur. So, and about the next classes that we hold, I would just say that we should continue the good work. Like, just keep it up. And I just want to say to all the facilitators, it's a very big thank you for organizing this kind of program. It's a privilege being a part of it. Thank you, sir.
All right. So what are you looking forward to work on after now?
Okay, what I look on to is having written down my vision, those things I have, like my vision, well, my plan or my action so that I want to take after this time is to check out steps on how I can build those things, how to break those goals down from the big goal down to smaller ones and try to pick them bit by bit and consistently work on them till I achieve them.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Alabi Deborah, let's have you next then.
All right, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So what I've learned so far, actually I've really learned a lot, a lot, a lot. But one of the things that I like much is the personal leadership that we talk about. Instead of the price and the personal leadership. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we are with you. We can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear
Okay.
you.
And you talk about our price to pay. Okay, it's talking about the price we have to pay for our personal leadership. And the solution is that we should build our capacity. As we see our future and we working, he said that we look into the future and we now looking for the solution. So the solution will now appear into our presence, like during this time like this, we are going to be working for the solution ahead of us, that is building our capacity. He also talk about that we should recognize our problem and find the solution. That teaching, I think I really like that topic, that is price and the personal leadership. And for the, what's the next question, sir?
All right. So
What's the next question?
the next question is your
Okay,
advice
I should talk about any, I think, okay.
feedback. Sorry,
My advice,
feedback,
okay.
feedback.
My okay, my feedback. The classes has been awesome. Sincerely, they have make a good impact in my life, and I really enjoy it. But the thing is that just this network stuff, it's just giving someone headache. But I don't know how we can solve this one. Maybe we can have a physical class, something like that. I don't know. That's my contribution, sir.
Okay. So what would be your advice? Yeah, I just said that. Yeah. Your advice for other classes after now.
Other class, I think you limited the class for only the 200 level and the 300 level, and I think it's not so good. Other levels should benefit from this great knowledge, sir.
All right. All right.
Yes.
All right. Noted.
All right. Yes,
Noted.
sir.
Okay. So after
Yes,
now, what
sir.
are you looking onto? What are you working on after now?
I'm working about building my capacity as anywhere I find myself, as in building myself, and that word consistency mean taking much time to do everything like that.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, sir.
um, Mr. Alabi Ebenezer, let's have you next, please.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, actually, what I've done so far is that the mentorship program has really opened my eyes to a lot of things, even beyond my understanding. That's a great inspiration to me, and I've learned things to do and things that I will not do to achieve my goals. I've learned things that will affect my vision and things that will oppose it. That's what I think, sir.
All right. So your feedback and advice.
Actually, it has been a great moment. That's my feedback, and my advice is everything is fine. It's good.
Okay. So if there is one thing that you love us to work on, what would that be?
No, everything is fine, sir.
All right. So what are you looking forward to do after now?
to start pursuing my goals, sir, to achieve my vision.
Okay, okay. All right, no problem. So, Mr. Abdulhamid, or Abdulhamed, I want to get that rightly. Are you with us?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Yeah, I'm here, sir. Good evening, sir.
Wait, is it Abdulhamid or Abdulhamed?
Abdul Hamid.
Ṣé àwọn pé mo mọ̀ pé Abdulhamid ni?
I love the South, sir. It's awesome, sir.
All right. So, please, let's have you.
Yeah. Firstly, I want to appreciate the host of the program. It has really been a nice time coming up here to learn more about leadership. It is what we need as youth, how to connect with each other and learn more. Starting from the first lecture till this present time, they have talked about leadership, they have talked about connecting, they have talked about having a plan, they have talked about knowing your own personality type, your own kind of person, and they have also talked about the way we connect and get things done, both long term and short term plan. And as this time tonight, the lecturer has really treated something that is very, very important. Our how we take care of excuses. When we are unable to achieve something, do we just give excuses based on our weaknesses, or we find genuine one, or we always find a way to get things done, or we always believe, don't worry, I will not do it. I'll give him excuse. You take it like that. So which has been one of those things that have been are like hindrance for us as youth in achieving one thing or other at which we plan to do. So it has always been a really nice one for me, sir. And I really appreciate for the privilege. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, so
Yes, sir.
advice is feedback, advice, what can be worked on for the next set of persons. Yeah, generally.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I think one of those things I just think we can add more to it is the interactiveness on the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
If you are okay, since after every class, everybody usually go mute on the group until when you post one information or the other. So there have been not been more interactiveness on the group to even learn more about each other, or we brainstorm among ourselves on one other issue we are facing outskirts of the training. And I also think it should always be like a pool or a test after each classes to always see our activeness and how much more we understand the teachings of each day. So my advice for those who will be coming up for the further program, like everybody who has the opportunity to attend this program, should always see it as a privilege, a very rare one, because it is not everybody. Other programs like that leadership program outside there, you always be like a paid one, you pay for it. But this time you are being taken in after being screened, and they're also giving us data to even attend it. It's a very rare one. We are the one gaining, and they haven't even giving us all the resources and materials we needed to learn. So it's very good platform, and I pray God Almighty continue to enrich the organizers of the program.
Amen. 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 Thank you so much. So, what do you plan on
So
working on after now?
basically, I plan on working more on myself, though I'm a serial volunteer and I have so many NGOs I volunteer with. Be it I may not be there physically, but I volunteer with my skill. I'm a graphic designer, I'm a brand identity designer. So I volunteer with my skill when it comes about they want to reach out to have a media presence. I volunteer with their media team. So I just think I need to work more on myself, personal skills, my communication skill, and other art skill that will make me valuable to people. So
Oh,
there's a project I'm working on with a friend of mine and feeding the vulnerables. She's one of the 2021 Millennium Fellowship. So I'm project coordinator. So we are open on a program feeding 100 vulnerables in our area here in Lasso.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's wonderful. That's interesting. All right, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Um, so,
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Favor Damilare, yes, Damilare. I believe that is Damilare.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, bro.
Yes, sir.
So let's have you, please. I hope you got
Yeah,
what you
so,
had.
sir,
Yeah, don't worry. Continue, sir.
because it has been nice since the day one, and I can say I really learned a lot, ranging from the leadership aspects, the skill aspects, the aspect of getting a mentorship, having someone to mentor you, and the consistency aspects. Yeah, concerning that skill, I learned that it is very important to have a skill, not just as not just as a school student. Is having a skill is very important, and putting in the work, putting in the work, and having someone to mentor you, having someone to mentor you, and consistency aspects. That's what I learned from the program. So
All right. So, feedback and advice. What would it be? Your feedback and then your advice.
I can say it has very awesome. Like I really gained value from this program. Like it shifted, it shifted my mindset a lot, a lot, a lot. And my advice to the coming generations is that you should take this thing very seriously. You should take it serious. And I thank the facilitators. Uh, even you giving us data, it would have cost you. It would have cost you some money. I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for that. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, too. I appreciate it, sir. So what will be your advice for the host or the program
Yeah,
in
every
improving it?
sir.
Your advice to the program or the host so that we can improve the structure or maybe the structure or the whole thing, anything that you feel at all.
Yeah, it is actually planned well. It is planned well. But what I feel is that this thing, some 400 level students need it too, not just 200 and 300. I mean, there's some 400 level that as in that don't know what they should do, or that don't actually have something to focus on. Maybe next time you can include 400 level. That's what I feel, sir.
All right, great, great. So after now, what do you plan to work on?
Yeah, I plan to work on my skills, put in the work, consistency, brush up my skills. Actually, I'm learning programming. Yeah, I'm a computer science student, so I'll take 20. I'm into web development, front end. Right now I'm learning back end.
Okay.
I'm going to work on my skills, brush it up, put in consistency, put in the work. Oh,
All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
thank you,
Um,
sir.
so I think we have two more persons to go then before we. So I don't know. Favor and Victoria, are you guys with us? Anyone wants to go first? I think those are the two remaining before we end this session.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, who want to go first?
Can you hear me, sir? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I can hear
Good
you.
evening, sir.
Good evening. All right, let's have Victoria first then.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. We are with you. You can go on.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the program. Like, it's been really awesome, and I've learned a lot.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. Among the things that I've learned so far, is topic vision and its preparation. Okay. Um, there was this particular quote that the uncle said on that day. He said, "A poor man, sir,
No, we are with you. We are with you.
can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes. Please proceed. We can hear you. Oh, I guess network. All right. All right. Favor, are you with us?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. We can hear you actually.
Okay, okay. I would like to start by thanking you for bringing up this program. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, yes. I can hear you clearly, ma.
Okay, okay. From the day one of this program, I've learned a lot. I've really learned a lot, and my favorite topic from all what we've learned is vision and its preparation. From the from the topic, I've I've been able to I've realized that I may have a vision, but without action, it's just an imagination. And I'm a kind of person that I used to write, but since I got to school, I stopped writing. So after the topic, I've started to write back and with the topic that we learned today about consistency. So I promise to be consistent with it. So in every of our topic it has really been amazing. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I think that's all.
All right. So, what would be your feedback and advice? Advice to the facilitator, to the program, and then to people coming up that we can work on to help those coming up
Okay,
to be more engaging.
okay. My advice is that as we've learned about consistency today, that I'll just advise you that you should not stop this program because it has really blessed lives and it will still continue to bless lives. So I just advise you that you shouldn't stop the program.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes. We are with you.
Okay, that's all, sir.
All right. So, do you have advice for the structure apart from maybe a better way that we could have done one thing or the other that you felt, or feedback? Maybe there's
Okay,
any feedback.
as others have said, that we should try to engage the under-level students also. That it shouldn't be limited to only the 200 and 300 level students. Like, do you get me, sir?
Yes, yes. I'm with you.
Okay, that it should also be extended to the under-level students too. That's all, sir.
All right, all right, all right. All right, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Victoria, are you with us now? Is the signal a little bit stable?
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right. Great. So
Okay, good evening, sir. I'm sorry about that, sir.
no, it's fine. It's fine.
I said I've learned a lot so far from the topics we've considered, and among them is that particular topic, vision and its preparation. So I learned a particular quote from that on that day about that the uncle said. He said a poor man is actually not the one that lacks material things like money, cars, clothes, and all that, but the one that actually lacks a vision, that doesn't have a vision. So from that, I've learned that vision is actually very important. And also learned that vision requires courage and it also requires time. And also that vision doesn't speak at the beginning, it only speaks at the end. At the beginning, people might not really see our progress or what we're actually going through, but the results will actually tell what we've been going through. So I think that's all, sir.
Oh, great. So, what would be your advice and feedback? Advice to the host, advice to the structure of the program, advice to the upcoming people. Maybe if there will be other mentorship classes, how it should run, that maybe it will be much more engaging. Or your feedback, general feedback, and advices.
All right, sir. Like I said, the program has really been awesome and we've really tried a lot, like in terms of helping us with data. Like for instance now people might actually want to log in and they'll be like, I didn't have data or something like that. So that has already been solved and everything has already been well laid down and all that. So program is quite awesome. That's all, sir.
Advice to the structure, to the host.
Okay. Okay, sir. Like the limitations, like it's only limited to just 200 level and 300 level student. I think should reach out to more people, maybe like 100 level and other levels like that, not just those particular set of people.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you about that. Okay, so I want to do a quick analysis, just a quick one. So I will just call your name, just answer. So the question is, if you had opportunity of supporting this program, will you support it? Yes, no, maybe. You don't have to say yes. It's not a must for you to say yes. If you say yes, I will still ask my question. I will still ask another question about it. So if you say no, no other question, right? So if you say maybe, there's still question. But if you say no, no other question. So yes and maybe we have question. All right, so let's have Oluwasemi here. Olabi first. Mr. Shemi here, I guess he went
Good
to.
evening, sir.
Oh, I was thinking you are cooking. Maybe that was the reason.
Concerning that question, sir, can we meet you in camera,
No,
sir?
you can't meet me in camera. You have to answer it here. If you have opportunity of supporting this program, will you? Yes, maybe no. Don't miss me in camera. If you
Yes, sir.
cannot answer it yes, don't
Yes,
miss me in
sir.
camera. You said,
Yes, sir.
okay, I'm coming back for you. Mr. Alabi Ebenezer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me go back. Mr. Shemi here. How?
Well,
How?
firstly, I
Ah,
believe that I can support the program with my skills. So, if probably you need me to give a public speech about Leven's crisis, my experience, I believe that testimonies begat testimonies. So, if I give my own experience, I believe it would spur the hearts of men to, put in all seriousness and apply for the program. So, that's in terms of skills. And I know that if it comes to design, I can make the designs, but I'm in no place to put down my skills on the platter because we have men like you who are excellent with design. So I won't bother talk about the graphics design, but maybe speaking about it and being an ambassador, maybe Levenscrisis ambassador for 2021, then I can do that. And monetarily too, in my own capacity, I would love to help, sir.
All right. Okay. Noted. Um, Thank you for that. Mr. Alabi Ebenezer. Yeah, let's have you.
yes, sir. I will complete it. before the end of the class.
You said
I will communicate with you before the end of the class.
you
I will take care.
can't. Mr. Milolua, let's have it. Nobody should communicate with me later on. Don't see me camera, see me here. All right, Mr. Milolua, let's have it, please. You are cooking for the family.
Yes, sir.
Which one is yes, sir? What is that yes, sir for?
Sir, I can hear you, sir.
All right, so answer, you've not answered our question.
Yes, I will be willing to support.
In what way, please?
In any way I can give my skills, I can help to create more awareness about the program, and I can also be financially committed.
It's all right. Okay. Um, Thank you so much. Mr. Abdulhamid, let's have it, please.
Yes, sir.
In what way?
Yeah, as the program comes by, we might have in the program I need support in any form. It might be material wise or capacity wise or skill wise, both soft and hard. So whichever one the program requires of me and I am capable, if I have the strength, I would support.
All right, all right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Um, Mr. Favor, let's have it, please.
Yes, sir.
So in what way?
Financially, number one, and number two, in terms of testimonies, probably speaking as a speaker. Yeah, speaking as a speaker. In terms of testimony, what I gained from Leven Crisis during my own time. During my own time. Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Adebola Ifeoluwa, let's have it so that we can. It's 9:55 already. Oh,
Yes, sir, I will be
it's
willing.
9:55 already. Oh,
Yeah, so in the aspect of yes, providing data for the next people that are coming.
really? Really?
Really? Yes, sir.
What if there are about a
What if there
thousand?
are about 1,000? The Lord will supply.
All right, that's fine. All right, that's fine. That's fine.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
Thank you. Thank you. Victoria, Ogumola Victoria.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
so
sir.
yes, right. So in what way? Oh, I get a
Sir?
network. I said in what way? You said yes, so I said in what way? Oh, you didn't get the question. Oh, I guess our network is fluctuating.
Okay, more about the program. I got the question, sir.
All right, so please.
Okay, sir. I said like in reaching out to more people, sir, like telling people more about it and all that, sir.
All right, all right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I'm ready. I'm
You,
ready.
s- you said?
I'm ready, sir.
You are ready? Okay, okay, let's have it, sir.
I'm in support of anything that we need for the next program, maybe data or anything, sir. That is my capacity, sir.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you, thank you. All right, thank you guys so much. Right, yeah. So, in any ways that we'll be needing um, your understanding or your um, whatsoever the thing might be. So, but one of the most important thing that you can do for us is making this program worthwhile in what you are doing, right? That's the most interesting support that you could give to us. And that's the best, yes, let me put it, that's the best support you could give to this program by ensuring that what you've learned, you are using it, right? That's the way to appreciate our time, the time of the facilitator, the time of the program, the organization, the time spent in ensuring that all these things comes together. And yeah, it was because the whole structure has been for a while, right? And then work has started on it for a while. And so for a whole month, it has been a tedious one. I told someone that I ought to go to somewhere because of this program, but I could not because I knew if I move to that place, the network will be so bad. And if network is bad from my end, it will affect the whole program. So, and then I would not like it to. So there are a lot of sacrifices from my end, from the facilitators' end, and the like. So one of those things you can do to encourage us is by ensuring that what you've learned, you are using it or you will use it. You get. So thank you guys for the opportunity. Thank you for coming to this edition of Level Crisis. I really want to appreciate you guys. And it has been nice knowing you guys, knowing your names, knowing though I don't think I know some people facially because all of you used to mute yourself, right? And used to put your camera into another thing. But it's fine, it's fine. So it's nice knowing you guys by name, knowing you guys from different schools and the likes. So and then I want you guys to communicate with each other. You have sorry that we've not been so active on the WhatsApp group, but I would love you guys to communicate, chat each other. Hello, I am this and this, I do this, and blah blah blah. At least you can save each other contact. Anything can arise in the future, and then you need one person or the other. So let's do that. So I want to appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for this edition of the mentorship program, and we hope in the future when we'll be starting our physical mentorship class, right, that we'll be able to call one or two or three or four, all of you guys to come around and then we can meet. And if everything works together, we can have a reunion in quotes where we do it physical and then we can just enjoy ourselves and go. All right. So, okay. Please go on, Mr. Abdulhamid. Please go on.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. Sir, I want to ask, can we have an e-certificate of participation?
Okay. All right. No problem. We will do that. We will do that. We will do that. Right. We will do
Thank you,
that.
sir.
We will do that and send it to you guys. So just ensure that the mail that you use to register is the mail that you want to receive it with. But if it's another, just send it to me on WhatsApp so that I can register that mail and send it to you guys. You get. So yeah. Thank you guys. So any other thing? Anybody want to say anything? Anybody want to say anything? Nothing, right? All right. So bye bye guys. Take care of yourself, be good, and if there is any audio or meeting that needs to be sent, I will send it to your mail. I'll send it to your mail. So check up your mail once in a while to know what's up. So thank you guys for the whole time. Thank you for the whole thing, right? And yeah, See you guys later. And yeah, I don't know. I'll be missing you guys because I'll be missing coming to this place every night, right? I'll be missing coming to here every night. So it's a good one. So we see each other later in the future. And yeah, stay blessed, stay creative, stay consistent, right? Yeah. Stay consistent,
Thank you.
right? Yeah. All right. Bye bye. Good night. Poof. All right. Good night, guys. Good night, guys.
Thank you so much. Good night, sir.
Yeah. Don't forget COVID-19 rules. There is still COVID-19. Use your nose mask. Uh-huh. Use your nose mask. Especially the
Thank you.
doctors. Please
Yes,
ensure you use your
sir. We
nose
are
mask.
grateful.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
God
guys.
bless you, sir.
Amen. 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 Thank you, guys.
Nice.
Yes, 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 guys. All right. So, but if you have any testimony you want to do, you can share on our WhatsApp group, then, or you can share on your status or anywhere, whatsoever you want to talk about, you want to share, just share it across any platform you feel convenient with. And you can screenshot it to me. Let me. All right. Thank you. I'll screenshot it to the group. All right. Thank you. Good night. Take care of yourself. And yeah, be
Good night,
blessed.
sir.
Yeah. Good night, bro. Ẹ̀gbọ́n, ẹ̀gbọ́n àgbà, ẹ̀gbọ́n àgbà.